This is the Dr. Chris Radio Horror program and the Radio Horror YouTube channel with another review from The Blonde in Front of Fear. Katie reviewing Glass.
Well, hello, listeners, and welcome to the most divisive film of 2019 so far. It's only 3 weeks in. I'm sure we're going to get more, but believe me, this sets the standards. Glass, directed by M.Night Shyamalan and starring Bruce Willis, Samuel L. Jackson, and James McAvoy. Now, Glass is I would say, the third film in the trilogy, starting with Unbreakable 19 years ago, Split 2 years ago, and now Glass. In the film, Unbreakable, the series of events that happens in Unbreakable does happen 19 years ago, but the events of Split happened 3 weeks prior to the film Glass. So James McAvoy, who is Kevin Wendell Crumb, the person who has 24 defining personalities, is out and about. He has stolen some girls again to release the beast, and David Dunn, played by Bruce Willis, is the overseer who is out to try and stop him. Both get caught and end up in an institution with Eliza Price or Mr. Glass, Samuel L. Jackson himself. Now, M. Night Shyamalan, this actually goes along perfectly with the other two films. I mean, if you have complaints about why it wasn't this and why it wasn't this, they all are explained in the first two. It seems pretty obvious to me. Many people that I know, at least after I saw the film, were like, I didn't understand why this happened, and I didn't understand why this happened. Well, look, I will tell you this. If you are talking to someone or you read anything where they talk about Casey, who is Anya Taylor-Joy, and when she is in Split, and if they start to say that Casey and her two friends immediately stop reading or stop listening to them because they did not pay attention to what was happening in Split, and that is a very important thing. There are many things about this film that it's about changes and people realizing who they are, but Unbreakable is David Dunn realizing that he can't be destroyed by natural means. Split, Kevin has his split personalities, and the last one is the beast that makes him like some sort of supernatural thing that his other personalities have helped him achieve. And Glass is Mr. Glass, Elijah Price. But while that is the name of the character, it also, I feel, is a double meaning because it makes you, what does glass do? But it helps you see things and see things better. And that right there is not a spoiler, but maybe things that, maybe a little statement that people need to think about when they watch this film. Look, I dug it. Was it perfect? No. There were a number of things that could have been better. Mainly Bruce Willis's performance. Look, kids, he was great in the 80s and some of the stuff in the 90s and even some of the stuff in the 2000s, but there's come a time, and I think we all need to admit that he just doesn't seem like he cares or even wants to be there. I mean, he had the least amount of screen time, and I think that was a benefit to the film. There are a few fight scenes that, weren't... I mean, this isn't Marvel. It's not even DC. It does have the comic book elements in it that you need to pick up on. But it's not about, there's going to be a battle, but there's some things that happen that even I was like, this just isn't filmed right. The other thing that I had a problem with that is very nitpicky, but it's supposed to be December in Pennsylvania, and it just seemed like it was maybe mid-early fall. That's just a little nitpicky thing that I had, but if you look closely, every time they say a certain scene, it's supposed to be December 7th, which is the day of Pearl Harbor, and I think was supposed to allude to a day that will live in infamy. I thought that was a clever little touch, and yeah, I just like the fact that this kind of wraps up the whole trilogy. This definitely is. If anything happens after that, they may have origins for other things, but this wraps it up, and I think it does a good job. Like, I know it's not unlike Split, and it's definitely not unlike Unbreakable. If you do see this, one of the things I will say is that you must see Split and Unbreakable before you see. I will recommend this before you see Glass to get the full impact of it. You need to see. It is imperative that you see Unbreakable and Split to get the full storyline. Otherwise, you will be lost. But James McAvoy is just absolutely incredible. His performance is, I mean, honestly, what he does in this is so good. Each one of his personalities. We saw many of them, I think 8 in Split. This one, you actually see all 24, and he makes them so unique, and I'm not giving anything away. I mean, I'll give this one thing away. At one point, he does male and female twins. That it's like, damn, man, give him the Oscar. Give him something, because it's like, wow. Samuel L. Jackson, an amazing supervillain. I mean, he's a Bond villain with a super genius IQ, and it just doesn't get, he's just so good. And then you've got Bruce Willis, who just reprises his role as David Dunn, but yeah. So, look, I say see it. I dug it. I may be one of the few and far between, but believe me, I think there are many of us out there, and I recommend it. So, yeah, I'm going to give a cheers to beer with this one.
What did you think of Sarah Paulson's character?
I think she was a needed catalyst to bring all 3 of them together, and if she did not exist, I honestly don't see how they would have come together organically.
What happened to Anna in the original movie, or not the original movie, in Split, really is kind of glazed over in this film a lot, and her connection to Kevin, without giving too much away, is even stronger, having known about what developed the Beast, and, herself as well. She herself could become something like Kevin, but she's so good and pure that thankfully never happened, and what was done to her seems like it was worse than what was done to Kevin. Of course, Kevin ended up splitting himself into 24 different personalities, which is pretty horrible and psychologically damaging, but what was done to her is the absolute worst thing that could ever happen to a woman.
It is one of the worst things that could happen to a woman, and with Kevin, we see an inkling of what happens to Kevin, like very, very small, what happens to Kevin. But we don't see, like, I know in Split, they gave way more background and character development to Casey, so we understood what she had gone through as a child. What seemed like starting at 4 or 5, I feel like if they would have given, like, for time reasons, they just couldn't give that much time to what had happened to Kevin, too. And the fact that it was his mother that did this. Like, Casey's was her biological uncle, gross, disgusting, and the fact that Kevin had his mother, like, the person who, is, you were their, womb mate, you were in her womb for, 9-10 months or so. Like, this is someone who, like, made you, and they're supposed to love you unconditionally and whatnot, and what she did to him was horrible. It's just that you don't see to the extent of, like, what she did to him every single day. And I think that they both went through absolute hell with people that they were supposed to trust and love, and with Kevin, his mind just couldn't handle that and had to split to try and to protect, whatever it could.
Do you think what happened to Kevin influenced why he would take certain type of girls? Like, for instance, in the original movie, they were all high school girls and stripped down to their underwear. In this movie, we have, what's supposed to look like sexy cheerleaders.
Well, I mean, the high school girls, I mean, he eventually had them stripped to their underwear because of, if we're going to give away stuff from Split, I think he had them stripped to their underwear so it'd be easier for him to do what it was supposed to be when to turn into the beast, which is supposed to digest him. That would be one of the faults I would say about Glass, which maybe gives a little bit away. One of the things with Split and how the beast came about is not the same way that it came about in Glass, which so that's a little inconsistent. But you know, he seemed to have like watched the girls in Split for a while to understand who they were, except for Casey. Casey was like he didn't know actually who she was because she just
tagged
she
along.
wasn't supposed to be in the car, with those two other girls. And then the I don't know, the cheerleaders. I mean, you could go with stereotypes, which is kind of dumb, but it feels like it's not like usually when he was watching them, he had been watching them for a while and didn't just pick them at random. So I wonder like what he saw that he thought made them impure.
Correct. Well, thank you, Katie, for your excellent review of Glass. Check out the rest of the reviews here on the Radio Horror YouTube channel. Check out Katie's reviews on our website, theblondeinfront.com. Please like and subscribe and comment on this video, and tune in next month for more amazing film reviews by The Blonde in Front of Fear.